Welcome to First Unitarian Society of Minneapolis, the birthplace of congregational humanism. We carry on that tradition of free thought today, dedicated to promoting a free search for truth, meaning, and justice. Our web address is firstunitarian.org. I'm David Breeden, Senior Minister. Welcome. Our Sunday Assembly of First Unitarian Society of Minneapolis. Our building is closed this weekend, but our congregation is much more than our building. I am Reverend Dr. David Breeden, our Senior Minister. I'm joined today by our house band, The Eclectics, and our seasonal celebrations team to celebrate the Autumnal Equinox. Thanks to Secular North and our amazing tech team for getting us and keeping us online and for innovating new ways to mix live and recorded content. First Unitarian Society of Minneapolis is a member congregation of the Unitarian Universalist Association of Congregations. We are an intentionally and radically inclusive congregational humanist community dedicated to promoting a brave and free search for purpose, meaning, and justice. The theme for this month is Embracing Possibilities. We are so glad you're here today. Let's celebrate the season.
1, 2, 3, 4. The sun slants in so fine, and the air's so clear, you can almost hear the grapes grow on the vine. The nights are short with starlight, and the days are cool and clean. And in the blue sky overhead, the northern geese fly south instead, and leaves are Irish silhouette. When fall comes to New England, when fall comes to New England, and the wind blows off the sea, swallows fly in a perfect sky, and the world was meant to be. From acorns line the walkways, then winter can't be far. From yellow leaves a blue jay calls, grandmothers walk out in their shawls, and chipmunks run the old stone walls. When fall comes to New England, frost is on the pumpkin, squash is off the vine, winter warnings raise across the sky. Squirrels are on to something, and they're working overtime. Foxes blink and stare, and so do I. 'Cause when fall comes to New England, oh, I can't turn away from fading lights on flying wings, and late goodbyes a robin sings, and then another thousand things. When fall comes to New England, when fall comes to New England.
I light this chalice for respect for the interdependent web of life of which we are all a part.
You can join me from home for our congregational covenant. Love is the spirit of this place, and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Well, today we celebrate autumn as the cycle of the seasons turns toward cooler days and rich with contrast and complexity. It is always a balancing act of being open to possibilities while aware of our limitations, ready to undertake new projects while grieving our losses, eager to harvest the bounty of our gardens and farms while discarding the rubble in the compost pile at the same time. We enjoy the beauty of flowers and fields while we watch their demise. And with gratitude, taking stock of our abundance while sharing with those in need. It is this wide spectrum of divergent experiences and possibilities that makes autumn such a poignant time in our lives. So today, at the onset of autumn, a time of contemplation and renewal, we'll attune ourselves to the changing season, savor the beauty and bounty that surrounds us, and embrace the possibilities that await us.
Summertime has turned the star wheel, autumn is upon us. Summertime has turned the star wheel, autumn is upon us. Sweet the angling sun, sweet upon the air, the smell of blue mist rising. Summertime has turned the star wheel, autumn is upon us. Glorious the trees, glorious the sight of rust leaves falling, falling. Summertime has turned the star wheel, autumn is upon us.
Air of the east, home of spring's emergent sun. Welcome the restless autumn winds and crisp scented air, arriving on a current of change, stirring the breath of courage for the darkening days to come. Alert our senses that now is the time to ride the winds of hope and possibility, to move toward a more secure and sustainable future, to uphold our place in the web of life. Welcome, air of the east. Welcome the gifts that you bring.
Fire of the south, home of winter's distant sun. Welcome autumn's flaming colors and the season's burning embers, casting beauty and warmth amidst the changing landscape of spent flowers, rustling leaves, and harvested fields. Kindle our will and desire to share our abundance with those in need, to care for our beleaguered earth, to measure our lives by what we give, not by what we acquire. Welcome, fire of the south. Welcome the gifts that you bring.
Water of the west, home of autumn's waning sun. Welcome the cool autumn rains and the inevitable coming frost, signaling the garden's demise, nature's annual rest. The passing away of one life to prepare for another. Awaken us with autumn's frosty chill, to the urgency of our purpose, to the brevity of our days, to cherish all that we have been given for the time that we have been given. Welcome, water of the West. Welcome the gifts that you bring.
Earth of the North, home of summer's radiant sun. Welcome, autumn's abundant harvest, the bounty of gardens and fields. Tomatoes, peppers, okra and squash, cantaloupe, green beans, pumpkins and beets, potatoes, eggplant, apples, and corn. Ground us in the knowledge of the unity of all life, to seek wisdom in the cycles of the changing season, to plant and reap, cognizant of generations yet to come, to reach out to each other and make this world our home. Welcome, Earth of the North. Welcome the gifts that you bring.
Summertime has turned the star wheel, autumn is upon us. Summertime has turned the star wheel, autumn is upon us. Sweet the angling sun, sweet upon the air, the smell of blue mist rising. Summertime has turned the star wheel, autumn is upon us. Glorious the trees, glorious the sight of rust leaves falling, falling. Summertime has turned the star wheel, autumn is upon us.
Special report from Retreat to the Woods. And the woods. And Cindy.
Like, bro, you really need to come to Retreat to the Woods. It's so much fun. Yeah, we go canoeing and hiking, and we hang out at the cabin and play apples to apples. Bro, you really need to come. It's totally cool.
I literally thought she was a teenager. This is the itinerary for the weekend. This is the lodge. Here's where we sleep. This is the inside of a cabin. It's quiet. It's fun. There's an outhouse. Some turkeys. You can go canoeing. Nature art. We get real close to nature on this weekend. Oh, and we also eat. And eat. Those are our chefs. And eat. And here's Michael.
5 cooks at the upcoming October 1st through 3rd Retreat to the Woods. We are so excited to be able to have this event after missing out for a year. It's a lot of fun, a lot of activities for you, your friends, and your family. For my dinner on Saturday night, we'll be having caprese salad, stuffed shells with marinara sauce, meatballs, and awesome French bread.
I think I heard French bread with garlic. I can't get enough of these woods. Leaves changing color, playing in the lodge, reading, hanging out, having fun, learning. Here we're knitting, and here's some kids learning to knit. And a family. We love families at the retreat and friends. And here, this is where you could take a walk by yourself. Or you could recruit somebody to go with you. There's a lot of singing. And we hang out by the fire outside, make some s'mores. We go on nature walks and find swans, When's the last time you saw a swan? The retreat to the woods is special. It's the first weekend in October, and you are invited. Please sign up today on the FUS website, or you can go to the table outside. We'll have more information there, and we really hope to see you there. It's been a long time, and we all deserve a retreat.
Since our founding in 1881, members and friends' support of First Unitarian Society has been essential for our ongoing mission. Our Sunday assemblies, community celebrations, cultural enrichment, and work in social justice come to you with the hard work of our dedicated staff and volunteers. Your contributions will help assure the continuing work of First Unitarian Society. Give now at PayPal, the Give Plus app, or firstunitarian.org/donate. Thank you. On Sundays, when we gather, we take a few minutes to reflect on the joys, sorrows, and milestones of the human experience. We do this so that we stay in touch with our own humanity. We do this to remind ourselves of the value of a moment of stillness. And we do this so that no one among us is alone, either in celebrating a joy or in facing the burdens of life. This morning, we have an update from the family of longtime FUS member Bill Weir. As many of you know, Bill died last weekend at the age of 87. Bill's memorial will be held this coming Saturday, September 25th at 2 p.m. here at FUS, and we will also stream that live. Those gathering in person will be following COVID protocols with masking and distancing, but you can watch it online. Go to our main page on the website. And this morning, we have a joy from FUS member Ruth Agar. Ruth has recently welcomed 2 more great-grandchildren. In this picture, we see Ruth holding Sequoia Frances Karlstad, who was born exactly 2 weeks after her cousin, Rowie McGaffey Agar. Both babies live in Viroqua, Wisconsin, where Ruth is a frequent visitor, and we extend our congratulations to Ruth and to her family. We'll now take a moment of silence to reflect on the challenges and heartbreak going on in our lives and in our world. My father was an inveterate and unapologetic garbage dump aficionado. On Sunday afternoons when I was a kid, it was off to the garbage dumps, known and unknown. Along with us would come one of my uncles who had been a Japanese prisoner of war and came home not quite right, as we said. One of the joys in his life was shooting rats with his .45 caliber pistol, and there were a lot of rats, so we were a merry band. I have to quickly say that I grew up in the golden age of garbage dumps, not only in the sheer number of dumps in those days, but also their quality. You see, I grew up in the days before the widespread use of plastic garbage bags. Also, most everything was still glass or wood in those days. There was very little plastic. And believe me, glass was a lot more fun to shoot with my little .22 caliber rifle. And yes, I left the rats and the snakes to my tetched uncle. I didn't like killing living things even in those days. Give me a gallon pickle jar to shoot any time. There are phrases that disappear in usage from our language over time. Back then, take it to the ditch meant throwing something out. Again, there wasn't much plastic in those days, so off to the ditch was a way of sending things back to the elements. Furniture, washing machines, bed springs, broken dishes, cars, everything went to the ditch, and you could drive down the rural back roads and find the discarded treasures of others everywhere. This dumping wasn't entirely an exercise in irresponsibility. We had serious soil erosion problems in the Ozarks where I grew up. People were overclearing and overfarming every available inch of land, which led to what we called washes. Washes were areas that the soil washed away in heavy rains. Throwing a set of bed springs into a wash would help with the erosion. The old adage is right. We most certainly are what we eat. We are also what we discard. And we are also what we scurry to our nests when we run into something in a garbage dump. Here in the United States, our garbage then and now says we are an overfed, overclothed, overhoused society. And yes, that's why my dad and his brother, the children of sharecroppers, loved to search through the garbage dumps, and why I learned to love it too. In the garbage dumps, we were in the presence of too much. We were in the midst of the society of overconsumption, even if we were only intruders into the results. We are in the midst of a rich society that can throw away jars of perfectly edible food and usable scrap iron and perfectly good clothes, unbroken dishes, and usable furniture. And there it was, free for the taking. With a little imagination, everything there had a new birth and a new purpose.
I think I'm going back to the things I learned so well in my youth. I think I'm returning to those days when I was young enough to know the truth. But there are no games to only pass the time. No more electric trains, no more trees to climb. But thinking young and growing older is no sin, and I can play the game of life to win.
just my toys to lend. Now there's more to do than watch myself apply. And every day can be my magic carpet ride. Little bit of courage is all we lack. So catch me if you can. I'm going back. La 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 la. La 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 la. Now there's more to do than watch myself apply. And every day can be my magic carpet ride. A little bit of courage is all we lack. So catch me if you can. I'm going back. La 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 la. La 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 la. A little bit of courage is all we lack. So catch me if you can. I'm going back. La 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 la. La 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 la.
Again, thank you for your patience with our technical difficulties. Now on with our Reader's Theater skit, Trash into Treasure by Jane Graves. One crisp fall day, Sam and Rachel were on their way home from school when they passed a box in the alley.
A very large box.
A very, very large box.
Rachel, a curious child by all accounts, was immediately entranced and stopped in her tracks.
Whoa, what do you think this is for?
Who cares? It's obviously garbage.
Of course, Sam was right. It was obviously garbage, set out for pickup the following morning.
But Sam was also wrong. For as the old saying goes, one person's trash is another person's treasure. And so it was for Rachel.
Nah, it's too cool to be garbage.
Cardboard is cool?
It's not just cardboard, silly. It's like a lot of cardboard. Think of the possibilities.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be recycled into a very nice napkin or something. Let's go.
Look at this thing. We can't just let it get recycled into napkins. At least not yet. We could reuse it. Give it a second life.
So you're gonna turn it into a, what, shelf or something?
Not a shelf. Maybe a car? Or a castle? Or, ooh, a robot.
That thing's gonna be a robot. Yeah, okay.
Come on, Sam. Have you forgotten how to use your imagination now that you're in middle school? A few strategic cuts and some paint will do wonders.
If you say so.
Come on, help me bring it home.
If I'm gonna help you haul it, well then I also get to help decide what we make of it.
Fair enough.
So Rachel and Sam went home and grabbed the little red wagon their mom used to take them on long walks with. It took them a while to figure out how to load the box so it wouldn't fall off when they pulled the wagon.
After a few attempts, they were on their way home with their treasure. Rachel chattered the whole way about her ideas, and Sam was getting more and more into the project with every step.
Soon they had set up the box in the backyard and began gathering scissors and duct tape and art supplies. Jessie, their younger neighbor, peeked her head over the short fence between their 2 yards.
What you doing?
Oh, we're gonna build something cool.
Can I help?
No way, you're too little. You'll just wreck it.
Sam, that's not true. You remember the village Jessie made from for her dolls a few weeks ago. That was a lot of work.
Yeah, but we found this box.
We? I seem to recall you thought it was garbage.
Well, at first, but obviously there's possibilities.
So now you should see that letting Jessie help will bring in even more new ideas.
Fine, Jessie, you can come, but you need to bring with you more boxes.
Okay. I'll ask my mom and I'll get some stuff right away.
Jessie returned a few minutes later with a bag full of cereal boxes, cardboard rolls from paper towels, and empty yogurt containers.
We didn't have any big boxes, but my mom thought this stuff might help.
Wow, that's a lot of stuff. But I think we can use it. In fact, I think having these other materials makes it possible to do even more things.
You know, I bet we might also have some more useful things in our recycling. Here, let me check this out. Oh yeah, here we have that aluminum tray from takeout yesterday. Here we have some milk jugs. Oh, and over here we have some more smaller boxes.
Let's bring it all out and set it out. Then we can brainstorm as many ideas as we can think of for what to do with it. Sam, can you write them down?
Yeah, okay.
I say, cardboard city.
Oh, that's too big. We don't have enough space and certainly not enough cardboard.
Sam, that's not how brainstorming works. Don't think about what we can't do right now. Think of anything, no matter how impractical.
Yeah, well, what's the point of that?
We can figure out later what to do for real. My teacher, Ms. Jones, calls it yes and. You can't say no to ideas, you can only add to them.
Sam agreed, finally, and the 3 children began throwing out ideas, one after the other, adding on to each.
Drum.
Guitar.
puppet theater,
Masks.
Hot Wheels racetrack.
Trains.
planes.
Rockets.
They continued for some time. Robots, monsters, dinosaurs.
Castles, caves, hideouts.
Eventually, they ran out of new ideas and started to think about what they could do realistically with the materials they had.
Sam, you want a hideout with a tunnel. I want a castle with a drawbridge.
And I want a kitchen.
How about we just make a big building with a tunnel entrance on one end and a drawbridge on the other and a kitchen inside?
Yeah, and then we can just pretend it's whatever we want.
Those are great ideas. You know, we could even camouflage to make it blend in. I mean, it's going to be outside, right? So let's use fall colors, reds and oranges and browns.
We could glue some leaves to it.
Forget the glue.
Okay. Well, let's at least rake the yard and bury the tunnel in leaves.
We never rake our yard. Mom says raking's for chumps.
That's true. We usually just mow it over and let it decompose over the winter.
Oh, well, we usually compost them. But maybe your mom will let us rake some of them, just for the fun of it.
You know, that's actually a pretty good idea, Jessie.
Jessie beamed at the rare compliment from her older neighbor. The three of them worked late into the afternoon and into the next day as well. They recruited parents to wield box cutters and even got them to donate some old sheets for a ceiling.
They played with their creation for several weeks. Every day a new game, adding new pieces as they invented them. Until a rainstorm turned it all into a pile of mush.
What a mess! Why didn't I think of rain? Now it's ruined forever.
Well, you know, it's okay, Rachel. It's kind of like the leaves returning to nature, right? So remember how Dad used to say, said it's like the cycle of life, right? So the dead plants and stuff make the soil richer for next year.
Nature's turning trash into treasure, just like we did.
Exactly. See, we always knew it was temporary anyway. We can find more boxes and do it again.
We can take what we learned and make even a better hideout next time.
Yeah, you know what? The house down the street has tons of leaves. They're already in bags.
Whoa, that would give us huge possibilities.
We could really do something with those. Who needs boxes when you've got all those leaves?
And come to think of it, the cleanup's going to be a lot easier.
Yeah, I love the fall and all the leaves. They're so fun to play in, especially with friends.
The more the merrier.
I guess you're right about that. Having more people means more ideas, more fun. Hey, why don't we plan a big fall party for all the kids in the neighborhood?
Yeah, imagine collecting the leaves from everybody's yard. We could build a mountain.
Well, that's an interesting idea. We might have to talk to the neighbors first.
And that's how Rachel, Sam, and Jessie spearheaded a new tradition in the neighborhood, a fall cleanup day and party.
Most everyone got involved, old and young, and the kids raked leaves for some of the seniors in the neighborhood, making new friends in the process.
And the master gardener down the street taught the kids how to cover the perennials with leaves for overwintering.
And all about composting and leaving plant stalks and seed heads in the garden to feed and shelter little critters throughout the winter.
And some of the kids were even interested.
But it was a good lesson about how nature turns its seasonal trash into treasure.
A lesson we should all take to heart. I think kids sometimes get that better than adults.
And you have to credit those youth for bringing the neighborhood together. Let's face it, we adults can get so stuck in our routines.
That's for sure. Another lesson to take from Mother Nature. The seasons change, as they always do, and we can too.
We just have to imagine the possibilities and embrace those opportunities.
Happy Fall Equinox!
I didn't learn the term until long past my garbage dump days. Objet trouvé, because everything sounds better in French. The found object. That's what my dad and uncle and I were doing in those garbage dumps. We were exploring objet trouvé. We were artists finding objects. So we were doing folk art. And all you got to do if you want to spend the rest of the afternoon on the internet is just do a little searching for found object art. There's a lot of it out there because human beings are pretty creative. My poetry mentor, Allen Ginsberg, said that poets, like all artists, are magpies, bringing shiny objects back to our nests. Who knew that my poor tetched uncle was an artist? Who knew that my father, who actually lived long enough to become a fairly proficient dumpster diver, who knew that he was an artist? But they were. They simply never had a chance. And I'm thankful every day that I had a chance to be an artist, that I have the gift of time to think and to create. Think about the brutal logic of necessity that drives so many people, preventing them from taking the time to think for themselves and express themselves through that very basic human instinct, making art. For too many of our fellow human beings, a combination of the necessity for survival and the naysayer within smothers their creative impulses. This, I think, is one of humanity's greatest tragedies. Magpies bringing shiny objects back to our nests. Now, actually, that's a European folk myth, and magpies don't actually steal shiny objects. As a matter of fact, actually, they're afraid of them. It's we human beings who love to find shiny objects and scurry them back to our nests. What life lesson did I learn from my family tradition of searching the trash so long ago? I learned, stop, notice. There is wonder there, under the stench and the rot.
One, two, three. My words did glow with the gold of sunshine, and my tunes were played on the harp unstrung. Would you hear my voice come through the music? Would you hold it near as if it were your own? It's a hand-me-down. The thoughts are broken. Perhaps they're better left unsung. Well, I don't know. Don't really care. Let there be songs to fill the air. Ripples no wind to blow. Reach out your hand, if your cup be empty. If your cup is full, may it be again. Let it be known there is a fountain that was not made by the hands of men. There is a road, no simple highway, between the dawn and the dark of night. And if you go, no one may follow. That path is for your steps alone. Ripple in still water, when there is no pebble toss, nor wind to blow. You who choose to lead must follow. But if you fall alone. If you should stand, then who's to guide you? If I knew the way, I would take you home. La da 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 da. La da 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 da. La da da. La da da da. La da da da. La da la la da. La da 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 da. La da 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 da. La da 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 da.
Water of the West, river of life and harbinger of death, we feel your chill. Crystallize our knowledge into wisdom, ever mindful of you this autumn time.
Fire of the South, lighting harvest moon and autumn sun, we bask in your glow. Warm us to another season of love and compassion, ever mindful of you this autumn time.
Wind of the East, singing the requiem of the dying year, we hear your lament. Call us to lives of courage, hope, and peace, ever mindful of you this autumn time.
hear what I have to say. Just like children sleeping, we could dream this night away. But there's a full moon rising, let's go dancing in the light. We know where the music's playing, let's go out and feel the night. Because I'm still in love with you, I wanna see you dance again. Because I'm still in love with you on this harvest moon. When we were strangers, I watched you from afar. When we were lovers, I loved you with all my heart. But now it's getting late, and the moon is climbing high. I wanna celebrate, see the shining in your eyes. Because I'm still in love with you, I wanna see you dance again. Because I'm still in love with you on this harvest moon. Because I'm still in love with you, I wanna see you dance again. Because I'm still in love with you on this harvest moon.
Thanks, everyone, for joining us today. Thanks to our tech team for sticking with it, despite some sticky wickets. And thanks to our performers today for sharing your talent. Do stay tuned to our media to find out when we will be opening the building once again and how this is going to keep playing out, because it's an interesting time to be planning next week. So we'll see what happens next. Our closing words are by Maya Angelou from her poem, Continue. My wish for you is that you continue to be who and how you are, to astonish a mean world with your acts of kindness. Continue to dare to love deeply and risk everything for the good thing. Continue to float happily in the sea of infinite substance which set aside riches for you before you even had a name. Continue. So may it be.